Talkman Radio Show live. We are here tonight on July 24th, and I've got a whole show set up for you. Most of the time, I don't know what the hell we're going to talk about. That's not true. Of course, I know what I'm going to tell you about. What I'm going to talk about this week are those unsung players in fantasy football. Well, the tight ends aren't so much unsung, but I have a league that we don't even need to have a tight end in the league. But most leagues do, so we're going to talk about that. We're going to go over some strategies and tips on tight ends. I have a t-shirt reveal. Oh, yeah. I got a kicker. We talk about kickers. And we're going to talk about defenses, some strategies and tips that go along with that. Welcome to the show. And as always, we're going to do the beginning. 12-ounce sports. This is Talkman Radio. This is the Facebook page. You can always sign up there. Friend me there. I'll friend you back usually. You know, I got no problem with that. But 12ouncesportsradio.com. That's where that's the genesis of everything. That's where it begins. 12ouncesportsradio.com. Check it out. There's also 12-ounce sports on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube, the YouTube channel where you can find this show and a lot of other shows on there. Good stuff. A lot of shows that are we talk about fantasy football here. Some of the other shows talk about hockey. The Hockey Report guys, they're excellent. You've got Mike. You've got talking about his thing first. You've got a bunch of other guys. Go check them out. Go through the lineup. See what you like. And check them out. And as you can see, there's all kinds of articles and stuff you can read. Catch up on sports. Even though there's not a lot of sports going on, stuff is coming back. But we've got a lot of stuff going on here at 12-ounce sports. And don't forget, at the bottom, the little donate button. If you can throw $1 or $2 our way, it always helps because we can get equipment and things like that, which helps us out, which helps us bring you what you like. Also, don't forget the 12-ounce sports merch. You got the merch. We got it. We got the merch right there. There's a little mask. There's your t-shirts, women's tees, iPhones, fanny packs, pillows. The mug I'm probably going to get eventually, maybe for Christmas, or the hoodie. One of those two I'm going to get. And I'll do a reveal here when I pick them up. But check them out. All kinds of stuff here. All for 12-ounce sports fans like you. Whoever's listening, that's who you are. So if you like us, check it out. So the rundown. We're getting to the rundown. First, as I said, we're going to talk about fantasy football positions that are less fancy pants, but are necessary to win your league. You're going to need, you can't have guys not putting up points for you. So we're going to talk about tight ends. That's the first part of the show. Then we're going to do the t-shirt reveal just for you, baby. And then we're going to get into kickers. And then we're going to get into defenses. And if we have time, we're going to talk about the newest sport on the block. That's going to be a Talkman Talk section special report. That's later if we have time to see how long it takes to get through all this. So, an announcement. I am actually a year unemployed. It's kind of true, not really. But they tossed me out of my can about a year ago. And I'm 3 years on Twitter. I got a thing in my Twitter things. Hey, you've been here for 3 years. Like, really? Meh. If you guys follow me at all, you know I'm not that bananas about social media and things like that. I put things on there for the show, and sometimes I'll talk about things. When I'll retweet a lot of the 12-ounce sports guys. But I really think social media is not the greatest thing in the world. It really dumbs down the content. I mean, look at what's going on out there. People get on Twitter and just scream at people. What is that? So that's why I'm not good. I mean, I'll push a show out and I'll push 12 Ounce Sports out there, but overall discussing things on Twitter is not my cup of tea. So anyway, so yeah, I'm 3 years on there. I've got about 4 tweets. I've got about 4 tweets in 3 years. So let's get into it. Let's do it. So I got my book here. Right here. If you're unaware, this is my page. I have right here is the review of this book. It is a very good magazine, Athlon Sports. So check it out. Go to my YouTube page, Talkman Radio. I have 40 subscribers. I'm trying to get to 50. We need 10 more. 10 more of you. I know there's 10 people out there listening. So check out the book. If we have football this year, I'm kind of moving towards the negative that we're going to have with all these yahoos running around. I don't know. I might get sick. You can have guys missing 4 or 5 games, at least 2 games if they get this stupid crap. So, I'm every day I keep hearing about these people. Oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. I don't know if I'm going to get sick or cough. You're 20 years old, super health. You're like the 1% of health of people in best shape in the world. I get cough. I can't do nothing. Come on. So let's look at the tight ends. So let's talk about. Well, let's go through this. This is my book. Let me get the tight ends in my book. Here we go. So, these are the players I have up here, if you can see. It's week 14. This is how they did throughout the regular season, fantasy football regular season. See, these are the guys that got you to the playoffs. Not the guys who played in the playoffs. This is where they were as of getting into the playoffs. So, that's what they look like. Darren Wall. So, in order, through the regular season, you had Kelsey, Ertz, Waller, Mark Andrews, Kittle, Hooper, Hunter Henry, Cook, Witten, and Greg Olson's at the bottom. Okay. Now, when we get into the book here, going into the season, you've got Kelsey, Kittle, Andrews, Ertz, Waller, Ingram. They have at 6. Ingram's injury, he's got an injury history that I'm not a huge fan of. Hunter Henry, Hayden Hurst, Jack Doyle's in there. I think he's going to come back after. He's 30 years old. And Tyler Higbee. That's their top 10. But strategy-wise, in terms of tight ends, I played in leagues with tight ends. There's a thing about tight ends that if you have to identify the top tight ends that are going to be there. You have to get the guys at the top. Sometimes, like a few years ago, you had Gronkowski and the guy from New Orleans. I forget. I'm getting old. I'm forgetting names. I'm friggin' mess on him. Jimmy Graham. Thank you. I gotta look at my book. Him and Jimmy Graham were the top guys. You had, and that was it. You had those guys. You had Jason Witten kind of in the second tier, but those two guys were the main guys. If you wanted to get one of them, you had to take them really high. Now, there's a strategy to that I'm all in favor of. If you can get there's an area where if it gets past that, you're not going to get them, most likely, probably third round, especially when you're in a league that has a tight end spot, third, fourth round. I was all for getting one of those guys. If you get a top tier guy that and I'm talking about those guys back then. If you remember 5 or 6 years ago, those guys were before Gronkowski got hurt and Jimmy Graham left the Saints. They were boom. They were top one. They were wide receiver caliber tight ends. They were getting that many catches, that many targets, and that many yards, and that many touchdowns. That's how valuable they were. And then you had the rest of them. You had the rest of the tight ends. My strategy with that was, if you can get them, get them. If you're sitting there looking at the 6th or 7th wide receiver or the 14th or 15th running back, unless you really wanted to go with the number 1 quarterback, which back then was Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, guys like that. You could do that, but you can get quarterbacks later. These guys are at a premium because there's only 2 of them. So going for the tight end that you know is going to be, he's going to get the targets, he's in a high-powered offense, and they're going to target this guy. He's the main guy on the team that they're going to target. You go for them because you always have the advantage in that situation. You're always the other guy. If your guy does what he does on average, then the other guy has to play above his grade to get, to at least be with you in terms of your tight end matchup. So you go and do that, and then okay, now we have an advantage every week against everybody else, except the other guy who might have back then talking Jimmy Graham or Gronkowski. So that's the way I look at it. If you can't get those guys, then you have to identify guys later on, and you usually have to take like 2 of them. When you take one of the top tier guys, I mean the main guys, you can go with streaming a tight end as long as they don't get hurt, which is what happened with Gronkowski. You can go streaming a tight end, and you're not going to really lose anything because you only have to do that for 1 week. So you save a roster spot by having that guy because you don't really need a backup tight end. So there's also that advantage going with it too. If you have to move down, I am not a big fan of getting the next tier guys because they jump up and down. I mean, just look at last year. Darren Waller, number 3. He's a second tier guy. Where was he last year? Man, I'll tell you where he was last year. I wasn't even going to get into this. But let's look at where he was last year. I have my old book right here. It's actually very interesting. See where Darren Waller was. I don't even know. I'm just grabbing this. I'm very interested to know. Not in the top 12. Not in the top 26. Neither was Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews 30. Ben Watson, Hayden Hurst. Not even in the book Darren Waller was last year. So you see, and that's the same book I'm using this year. So you see, I'm not a big fan of these second tier guys because they come and go. You don't know. I mean, could he be good this year? Yeah, he probably will be good. But is it going to take? Do people know who he is? And I say this every couple of weeks when we're talking about guys, especially quarterbacks. But it goes for tight ends and wide receivers, any spot. Once they get a book on you, then you have to either get better or you're going to see your numbers go down. Because once they learn how to defend you, you're only going to be able to get to a certain height unless you break one. So that's just the way it works. And it works that way for everybody. Mark Andrews, another guy. He was like 30-something. He was 26, I just said. George Kittle, he's been up there. That's why I don't like the second-tier guys. I like to look past the second-tier guys. If you don't get one of the main guys, this goes for this year as well, don't start looking at, I'll just take Darren Waller because he did so well last year. I'll just take Mark Andrews because he did so well last year. Look deeper down the list and try and identify guys who are going to make that jump up. And you're going to have to take 2 guys. You could take one of these guys and then identify someone later on, and maybe you'll do well. But you don't have the kind of, what's the word? comfort and of having the main guys, like as I was saying before a few years ago with Gronkowski and Jimmy Graham. So that's my theory on tight ends. Take it or leave it, whatever you want to do. I don't care. So looking at this year, going into this year, who are the tight ends that we're going to look at as tier one guys that we put them in there. We're 90% solid. These guys are going to be ready to roll. If you're one of those guys that just, I'm only going, I have a very high level because I'm so smart at fantasy football. I'm only going to put one guy in there as tier one. Well, then that one guy is Travis Kelce. Period. End of story. If you're going to say there's a couple guys that are going to be in there, which is where I would be, I would go with 3 guys. There are 3 guys in there, and they're not number 1 through 3 as you see here. I would go with Travis Kelce as my number 1. I mean, he's definitely going to be. He's going to be the number 1 tight end off the board. Zach Ertz as well. I think the addition of the rookie wide receiver Rieger and Deshaun Jackson coming back is going to open things up. I even think Ward, another year in there, is going to be a little better. He played well last year, despite the fact that they wouldn't play him because they had all these draft pick guys who stunk. So I think Ertz is gonna come back. Maybe I don't think he's gonna come back to where he was 2 years ago, 113 catches or something like that, something ridiculous. I don't think it's gonna come back to that. But it's gonna be good, and he is he is. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna double check for you right now. A lot of these guys, actually. I want to bring up a point. If I can find tight ends in this book, I'll bring up a point. I want to talk about KJ Hamler. Travis Kelce, Travis Kelce. I mean, you gotta like him because he's gonna, he's because the offense is in. But he is 30.
Go to hell, you old bastard.
I wouldn't say that, but he is 30. Zach Ertz, 29. And George Kittle is 26. So Zach Ertz is the old man on the block. And Zach Ertz is right behind him at 29. He's been around. Zach Ertz has been around. And George Kittle, the young guy, I would put at those. Travis Kelce, and then 2 and 3 would be Ertz or Kittle, however you want to put them. Then you're looking at Austin Hooper, which I'm not. I'm not a big Austin Hooper guy. To tell you the truth, I would put Hayden Hurst over Austin Hooper. I think he could fall. Mark Andrews, they do play a lot in the tight end. They do throw a lot to the tight end. So I kind of like Mark Andrews where he is. Darren Waller, they picked up a wide receiver in the draft that's going to spread the field, which is going to maybe give him more of an area to throw, kind of like in the same vein as Zach Ertz. But I'm just not feeling Darren Waller this year. It seems like Darren Waller got all those catches and yards and everything because there's nobody else out there. There was Tyrell Williams. Come on, Tyrell Williams is your main guy. Josh Jacobs, who missed a couple games, and when he was in there, wasn't really catching the ball that much. I think that's going to go up this year, but that's it. He was the only guy. They just threw the ball to him. Screw it. So, but I think there's more guys out there to throw the ball to. So I think his numbers are going to drop down a little bit. I'm not big on Darren Waller. Kittle is a top tier guy. Austin Hooper moving to Cleveland. It's not the same offense. He's up there as number 6 because of last year's stats. Before that, Really? Do they even have him in here? They don't even have him as a top 12 guy in here. Austin Hooper. They got him at 16 here. Even before that, he was... I mean, okay, it's 71 catches for 660 yards and 4 touchdowns. That's okay. But last year was his real breakout year with... He played 3 games less. He missed 3 games. Still had 75 catches, 787 yards, 6 touchdowns on 77% target success. But that was Atlanta. This is Cleveland. So you have to say, I mean, he could do better. But if you look at it, you know, they throw the ball all over the place in Atlanta. They have one of the better running backs here in Cleveland. They're going to try and run the ball. They brought in the guy from Minnesota, who they were running the ball all over the place last year. There was a game where the quarterback threw 10 passes. What? So I'm not big on Austin Hooper this year. Hunter Henry, way too injury prone. Jared Cook finally had a good year last year. Finally got up and said, hey, you know, I'm pretty good. That can't be right. He had 43 catches last year. He had 43 catches. Oh, he did break a lot, but he only had 43 catches. Now he had 705 yards, 9 touchdowns. That's, you know, for every 1 catch, for every, 5 catches, 1 was a touchdown. So, because I had him last year, and there was games with 2 catches, 3 catches. Like, what is this? And then I dropped him, and then 4 catches for 111 yards. How'd that happen? Last year was a joke. I've gone over that plenty of times. I don't feel like doing it again. Jason Witten's old. Greg Olson's old. Evan Ingram's injury prone. Kyle Rudolph's old. Now we're looking at Darren Fells. This is why you get guys that books have in their 30s jumping up to number 3 and number 4. And that's why I'm saying look past the second tier, the second tier guys into the young guys, like the Noah Fant. I kind of like him. Ryan Griffin, if the quarterback can stay healthy, I kind of like him. Dallas Goedert just throw the ball so much and they throw the ball to tight end so much. He's up there at number 15. But Mike Gesicki, I hear a lot about him. TJ Hawkinson, Blake Jarwin, another one. All these guys, you know, you can go with a second tier guy and then grab one of these guys, and one of them is going to pop, hopefully, unless you pick 2 stiffs. And then, you know, you're just, you're just.
What am I, a schmuck on wheels?
That's what you are. That's what you are if you pick 2 stiffs. So that's basically how I look at tight ends. If you know where they're going to go, you know where the top guys are going to go. This year, I look at 3 of them, and I've given them to you: Kelsey, Ertz, and Kittle. Kelsey being number 1, Ertz and Kittle being kind of behind him, but still top tier. Second tier guys, be wary, because the second tier moves in and out so fast. I mean, year by year, that you really have to be on top of, you really have to be, I'm just going to take this guy and then I'm not going to worry about it. He's just as good as Kelsey. No, he's not. That's why Kelsey went 4 rounds ahead of him. So be careful with tight ends. Tight ends a tricky spot. So that's my thoughts on tight ends. You take them at your own risk unless you get one of the main guys. And even the main guys get hurt. Kittle missed 3 games last year. So that's it for that part of the show. That is the tight end part of the show, and that is over. But there's always MyBookie. MyBookie is the best online sports gambling site around. They have up-to-the-minute odds for college, pro games, and live racing from all around the country. Well, they're going to, at least. MyBookie is an online casino for you to play at, including some of the most beautiful live dealers you've ever seen, I swear to God. Go to MyBookie and use the promo code 12OunceSports. That's 12OZ Sports for a deposit bonus up to $1,000. It's like having a casino in the comfort of your own home. You won't be disappointed. I can guarantee you that part as well. MyBookie is the place you want to be. Go check out MyBookie, and don't forget, use the promo code 12OunceSports, 12OZ Sports, for a deposit bonus up to $1,000. MyBookie. Check it out. Now, moving on. Before we get to kickers are going to be the next thing we're talking about. But before we get to that, I would like to show you something. I'm going to show you something. Baby. That's right, baby. So, let's just do it. T-shirt reveal. I went out yesterday, and I've been meaning to go to this place. As you know, I live in the communist state of New Jersey, run by Murphy, Phil Murphy, and it's just a joke what's been going on here. But should I show you? I'm just gonna show you, and then we'll get into why I'm doing this. But first, I gotta give you the t-shirt song first. Love it. Can you see that? I love that song. I love doing that to that song. You don't know what that song's from. Find out. It's great. So, New Jersey gym not in contempt must adhere to Murphy order, says the judge. Attila's gym was in the news recently because our lovely governor told them, you gotta shut down because I said so. And they said, well, we can work around this Mexican beer play. We can find ways around it. So they changed their whole gym around. They moved their gym outside. They did all kinds of things just to stay in the 6 feet thing and all that stuff. But the problem was they went against Stalin. I mean, what do they call the guy in North Korea? Our dear governor. They went against dear governor. So they screwed with his plumbing. They did all kinds of shit to mess with these guys. But they're still open. They stayed open. They said, screw you. You know what they told them? Here's what they said to our buddy, to this loser. They told him,
Now go home and get your fucking shine box.
that's what they said. That's what they said. What'd they say?
Now go home and get your fucking shine box.
So I was there, and I'll even prove it. This is I went there the other day. Everybody in there was totally super cool. I asked, I was like, well, I want shirts. I'm doing a shirt. I'm doing a reveal, and you just saw it. And this is out front. These guys are great. You gotta love these guys. They told him to screw off, and they're still running their gym. And I totally support these guys. Good for them. Good for them. This guy's a total joke. This mayor we got, this governor, dear governor. So, all right. So that's a T-shirt. I went and got them, and they're great. You know, Belmar's right around the corner from me, so we went and got that. I met the guys in there. Everybody was really cool. So that's the T-shirt reveal. I love those guys. I work out at home. I lost a lot of weight working out. But, that's what we did, and that's the reveal. So I hope you like it. And Attila's Gym in Belmar. If anybody's here is in New Jersey, Attila's Gym. That's where you go. That's where you go. So, moving on. Oh, wait. Before we move on, I want to show you something. We're still paying bills. With these guys. Look, they got all kinds of channels. Check out Zingo TV. Look, they got Gwar. It's free. What else do I can end the commercial right there. It's free. But please use the 12 code 12 ounce. That's 12OZ. It really helps us out when you do that. 12 Ounce Sports is channel 761. You can find me there. You can find the replay if you're out drinking. Well, not that we can be out drinking, but let's say you're out in the woods drinking, or you're in somebody's basement drinking, or you're in somebody's yard drinking, having a good time. You wake up the next day, you're rubbing the crap out of your eyes. Maybe you're kicking some girl out of your bed that you're like, oh God, I can't believe I did that. And then you're waking up and you're looking at yourself. Well, you got to go get tested now. And it's 11 in the morning. That's when you can watch the replay of Talkman Radio Show Live. So it's all good. So the 12 Ounce Sports channel 761. Plus they have other actual sports channels you can check out. Music channels. And a bunch of other stuff. Go check it out. It's free. Like I said, it's free. ZingoTV.com. There it is right there. www.zingotv.com. Please sign up and use the promo code 12 ounce. That's 12OZ. Because that helps us out. And it'll help you out too because you get Zingo TV. And I can't press this enough. It's free. It's free TV. So check it out, see what you like on there. It beats paying, these, Comcast and all these scumbag places that aren't doing you any favors. So check them out, ZingoTV.com. All right. We got that out of the way. We're going to kickers. Kick! I kicked the ball. Kick! Kickers are a funny thing in fantasy football. First off, hold on. Let's get to them first. First off, funny thing about kickers are there's really not that big of a difference overall. If you average out these points like here, Harrison Butker in 13 games put up 138 points. That's 10 points. Now let's look at number 9. Joey Sly from Carolina. He put up 110 points. Now that is basically, through some quick math, is about 8 point something points. So you're really only missing about a point and a half. The issue with kickers is how they're going to do on an individual basis on each week. Because I'm for having kickers on your team because they're part of the team. They're part of the overall football landscape, and every team needs a kicker. You don't see teams running around with no kickers go for 2-pointers all the time. So, I'm old school like that. So I'm for kickers. The truth is, people just don't like when the kicker either screws them or they either get screwed by their own kicker or the opposing kicker screws them. You hardly ever remember when your kicker kicks 6 field goals for you because it hardly ever happens. Like one guy during the season has that happen, So for the most part, they're going to put up 6, 7, 8 points. And sometimes you'll get like 13 points, depending on what kind of league you're in and what kind of points your kickers get. If they get extra points for longer kicks, then you're going to look at you're going to take your strategy drafting kickers a little differently. Like Adam Vinatieri's not really. If you get bonuses for long kicks, you're going to put Zerline ahead of Vinatieri because Zerline does get his chance to kick 60-yarders. And Vinatieri, if he's still playing, is he still playing? I think he's done. Chase McLaughlin is kicking in Indy now. I can't even talk. Well, he's the kicker now. So I had no idea. I don't know who the kicker is. So yeah, he's the kicker now in Indianapolis. I guess Vinatieri retired after 741 seasons kicking in the NFL. He decided my leg's gonna fall off, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go now. So like I said, overall kickers. I mean, you can see it right here. I'm showing it to you right to your face. 13 games and 138 points. That's basically 10 points, a little over. The kicker number 9 is getting you 8.3 or 4 points. The number, I mean, okay, there's 28 points, but that's over 13 weeks. So, yeah, that's, the kickers are a week-by-week phenomenon. It all depends on if how your league scores points off kickers. That's it. Now, what I like to do in terms of kickers is I like to take guys. The Butkers and the Lutzes, they're on offenses that they just move the ball up and down the field. If they stop, boom, Lutz and Butker, extremely accurate, so you're going to get 3 points out of that anyway. So they're also going to get plenty of extra point shots. So, by halftime, you get like 6 points off them. And that's fine. Whether it comes by a couple field goals, which you don't get a lot of, but you get more touchdowns. So, Justin Tucker is extremely accurate, but since the offense got better, he takes a little bit of a step back. He's clocking in at number 3. Since they're scoring more touchdowns now. Now he gets the 1 point instead of the 3. But when the offense was stalling every once in a while, his value went up because he was just knocking them right through, which was to his benefit when the offense isn't that great. And that's that's kind of what I'm getting to. Teams with offenses that are good but not great. That's kind of where I look at. Kickers, if you're just playing in a league where you get three for a field goal and 1 for just standard kicking rules, nothing extra or anything like that. I'm looking for teams with average to good offenses. They the drive stalls. Their quarterbacks hit or miss on third down. So they're gonna get to like the 30-yard line, kick 47 yarders 2-3 times a game. I'm good. I'm in. I'll take that guy. And those are the kinds of guys I pick. You look for the guy, especially. I mean, first off, let's go to when you take your kicker. When do you take your kicker? I take my kicker last. The reason I take them last is because of what I'm showing you right now with the numbers. The top kicker, Harrison Butker, is going to go 11th, 12th, 13th round or something like that. Oh, I got to take this kicker. He's so good. You could have picked Joey Sly on the waiver wire if you wanted to and missed out on a couple of points per game. So that's why I take kickers last. There's no reason in my mind to take a kicker anywhere outside of the last 2 rounds, whether you want, and the other of the last 2 rounds is for your defense, and we'll get into that too. But the numbers just don't bear out to taking a kicker before the last 2 rounds. I'm showing it; it's right in front of your face. That's through 13 weeks. Let's go through 17 weeks. Come on, buddy. And through week 17. There you go. Same thing. They put up about 10 a game. 10 a game. He was a little under, about 9 a game. Joey Sly's at 10 with roughly 8. 8 is 80. A little less. He's at like 7. 7 point something. But it's not like these guys are putting up 20 a game and they're putting up 2. It's nothing even close to that. So, in case you have been taking kickers with the 14th with your 14th pick, maybe this will get you out of that mindset. I just don't get it. It just doesn't make sense. Those are the numbers right in front of your face. If you want to do that, go ahead. I'll take somebody who maybe turns out to be Lamar Jackson or James Conner from 2 years ago. You can have you can have Justin Tucker. Have at it, buddy. So that's the way I look at kickers. In terms of what I'm looking for in kickers, when I picked them last, teams, from whatever's left, you look at the offenses that are left, and you go with the kickers that that are on offense that are pretty good. There's plenty of them out there. Nobody's taking 2 kickers. Nobody's taking 5 kickers. They're taking 1 kicker, and you're probably not even going to be the last one to take a kicker. So, there's plenty of opportunities out there to grab a kicker that'll be fine, So I'm not big on, taking kickers outside of the 14th round. And there's always jokes about guys who just get into this and take a kicker in like the 4th round. I heard a story about a guy. This guy's the leading scorer in the league last year. I'm taking him. It was like, shit, I don't even remember. Maybe it was Vinatieri back in the day. And this is in a league that I was playing in. God, I was down in Atlantic City, so that was the early 2000s. The guy took somebody ridiculous. They're like, yeah, he's a leading guy. It's a good pick. This guy knows what he was talking about.
What am I, a schmuck on wheels?
Yes. Yes, you are. That too. Just give me the money. You're just giving us money. First round. So that is the kicker portion. Take my advice, leave my advice. Do whatever you want with my advice on kickers. But I need this. I screwed up. Give me a sec. Here we go. Alright, now we're going to get to this. And I don't know how to segue now, Adam. Fine. But if you really want to know what's going on, want to get an inside look on recreational sports betting? And check out the Vegas Squares podcast brought to you by 12 Ounce Sports. That's us. It's 12 Ounce Sports. Catch them every Saturday night at 10 p.m. Eastern on Zingo TV channel 761. And again on Wednesday nights for their new golf betting show. That's a big deal. Check them out on Twitter. The golf betting show is coming up. Check out their website at http lvsquares, capital lvsquares.com. HTTP, the thing, and 2 slashes. lvsquares.com. That's the Las Vegas, that's the Vegas Squares, exclusively on 12 Ounce Sports and Zingo TV. That's our guys. Those are our guys. I love those guys. And they know what they're talking about. Trust me, they know what they're talking about. They already beat me out of a shirt. I'm not bitter. I'll get it back. So, get into defenses. I have some interesting things on defense I want to talk about real quick. And maybe if we have time, we'll get into Talk Main Talks. Here we go. Now let's go back to week 14. Going to the playoffs, these were the top defenses. Now, the Patriots, I want to talk about the Patriots. Let's go over these one by one, real quick. the Patriots, talk about in a second. The Steelers made a huge move. Their defense was not great. I had them. They started out very meh last year. Very meh. Then they picked up Minka Fitzpatrick. And that changed the whole defense. So that's what brought them to number 2. As of going into that, this is finishing up the season last year, the regular season, they were number 2. Then the 49ers made it because their defenses went crazy wild. Getting sacks led the way. They had some turnovers as well, but they were leading the way. Their sacks were leading the way. The Rams are always going to be there. They're falling a little bit because their defense is kind of getting hollowed out a little bit. Their defensive line is excellent, but their the rest of they're losing their depth on the rest of their defense. Jalen Ramsey in their secondary is good. Is he gonna be? Is he losing a step? Is he kind of like? I mean, when he was he kind of changed that whole defense around in Jacksonville. But moving into the Rams, he's not the main guy. He's the main guy in the secondary, but I kind of see them falling a little bit. The Ravens are always going to be a top team because their coach leads the way with their defense, even though he's a special teams guy. Titans had a good defense. Chiefs, I always like the Chiefs because they're always so far ahead, and they always have their offense is so dangerous. It makes the other team's offense take a chance when maybe they don't want to throw that ball. Maybe maybe we're gonna try and go downfield a little bit, get those extra yards rather than take the check down because we know what's gonna happen. They're gonna come and they're gonna come down the field and throw a bomb to Tyreek Hill or methodically go down the field with Kelsey and Watkins and run the ball. You feel like you have to take chances with them. Seattle Seahawks, not a big fan. They're pretty solid, but I'm not a big fan. The Saints. The Bills I do like. Jets, meh. Minnesota I kind of like. Tampa Bay I like a little more because of I think your offense is going to be a lot better this year. So I think, and plus, if Barrett could get 78 sacks again like he did last year, it's going to help your defense. So he's a big part of that. So overall, again, the same kind of thing with kickers. Now, I want to take the Patriots out of this, but I do want to talk about them for a second. There's a reason. I've got that over here. There's a reason the Patriots last year, the fantasy teams that had the Patriots on their roster last year, started out the season great. Because the first 8 games of the season, their defense was putting up 16 points a game. They were putting up more than this, actually. As a matter of fact, let's go to week 9. I guarantee you that number is going to go up. They were putting up 20 points a game. First 8 weeks of the season. The reason they were doing that is schedule-based. That's why their team was so bonkers. That's why they won all those games. That's why they started the season. Were they 8-0 and then they lost to 7-1? They lost to the Ravens and then kind of fell off the face of the earth a little bit. Like what happened? What happened? So you definitely got your money's worth with the first 8 weeks of the Patriots.
You don't got my money. You don't got my fucking money. Pay me my money.
We got it. We got your money. It's right here. The first 8 weeks of the season. Here's your money. But at the end of the season, having the Patriots on your team.
What am I, a schmuck on wheels?
A little bit. If you would have putting them into the trade at the end of the 8 weeks. But the reason I'm talking about this and bringing this up is because good defenses that do this kind of thing, get you 185 points in 8 games. That's schedule based, and that is also it's schedule based and based on what goes along with your schedules. Who's in your division? You got to remember the first 8 games of the season last year. New England played the Jets, the Giants, a bunch of other crappy teams. So they were just banging them out left and right. I think I think they started out the season against Pittsburgh, if I'm correct. I think they started out against Pittsburgh, and the defense had a crazy game against Pittsburgh. Roethlisberger had played like shit. They just went nuts. So defenses are schedule based. So going into this season, I had it marked. The mark fell out. It's on the floor. It's not even there anymore. And if you're looking at defenses to grab in your league, you got to look at teams that are in weak divisions. That's a huge marker for them. Tampa Bay would not be a good defense. The South is not a good defense to take in from. The NFC South, the NFC West is not a good place to take your defense from. The AFC North, The AFC East now is, even with New England in it, the NFC East is not terrible. It's not one of the top ones, but it's not terrible. The NFC North, as Chris Berman used to call it, their division to look at. You've got the Bears, who I don't see them doing much this year. Green Bay, Minnesota, we'll see what they do this year. I would not go in the AFC West. You've got way too many teams out there to put too many points on the board. AFC South, look there. Look at Tennessee. Look at the Houstons. The Colts. Yeah, I would stay away from the AFC West unless you're taking the Chiefs. They're the only ones worth anything. Forget about the Bengals. The NFC South, if you're going to take anybody, I guess you would go with either the Saints or not the Panthers. Probably the Saints. That's what I would look for. The Atlanta Falcons are way too up and down. So you have to look at it by division, and if you took New England last year, you see my point. And then you can see the numbers right here. It's right in front of your face. So that's the way I look at defenses. That's the way defense should be looked at, schedule-wise and division-wise. And like I said before, you take who you take at the end of the draft. Do not reach for defenses. In the 7th, 8th, I see people taking defenses in the 7th, 8th round. Are you nuts? Are you nuts? No. There are players out there you can be getting that can help your team. If you take New England out of the way, which is kind of an aberration anyway, you're looking at from 1 to 3, you have 2 points. Okay, now you do lose a little bit, but a lot of these guys, look at it, between 5 and 9, you're within like a point. So, what are you doing? I don't get why people take these guys so early. Now, I get it if you take them early and they blow up like the Bears did when they had Urlacher and all that, and Peanut Tillman, New England last year. Okay, I get it, but you don't know if that's going to happen. That's after the fact. You don't know that before. And don't tell me that I knew they were going to be good. You're full of shit. You're a liar.
Now go home and get your fucking shine box.
Exactly. Out of here with that. So, that's how I look at defenses. So, that's it. That's it for the defenses. We've got a couple minutes left. So, what I would like to do... Okay, we're going to do this. We'll do that. I can't believe I didn't put that up, but there it is now. This is the Talk Man Talk section. We have about 5 minutes left, a little less. I just want to go over a couple things real quick. But first, I want to talk to you about BiscottiGourmet.com. Yes, I do. Biscotti Gourmet offers a new take on an old Italian tradition of soft-baked mini biscotti and many delightful flavors. I love lemon. Not done lemon. Go to BiscottiGourmet.com and use the promo code TALKMAN. This is a different promo code, TALKMAN, for 20%, just because I know her, off your order. Any flavor is a wonderful compliment with your coffee in the morning or as a guilty pleasure treat. Check out BiscottiGourmet.com. These are wonderful. These are great. I love them. They're all natural. They're delicious. Trust me. So, in case you haven't heard, Talkman's going to talk about the team with no name. Remember Thunderdome? Here's the man with no name. Now we have the team with no name. This is the Washington Redskins. This is so ridiculous. Like, I don't even know what to say about this. This is so ridiculous. And this is what I'm talking about. This is the new age. This is the new age of sports. And I'm out. If this is the way it's going to be, I'm out. I love fantasy football. I will not watch this nonsense. I won't. I will get my scores at the end of the day. I will watch the numbers go up on my phone. I will not watch this nonsense. First off, you cave. That's number one. We're just going to change the name because everybody said, some piece of shit said there were people who were doing the Redskins game and they wouldn't even say the Redskins. They wouldn't even name them. Who are they? I love when they come out and say these people are doing it. Who are they? Name them. I don't remember anybody saying that. I don't remember Joe Bach or Troy Aikman saying, the R-word team. No, they call them the fucking Redskins, assholes. So this is all bullshit, and this is what I'm talking about when I get into fucking politics ball. This is fucking bullshit, and it's going to kill sports. Not football, not baseball, not soccer, not fucking highlight. All of it, if it keeps up. Look at this. Maybe. This was yesterday. This is the fucking Yankees. This is the fucking Yankees. I mean, the stupid doctor threw a ball out. You see him throw the ball, the ball went fucking over there. Yeah, just like his predictions on this fucking nonsense. All the way over there. Fucking bullshit with these people. This is just fine. But, remember this? This is not fine. Outrage at the Cowboys decal tribute denial. When the cops got killed a couple years ago, Jason Witten wanted to wear a decal in honor of them. That's no good. That's not good. But the NFL, the NBA, all these people are going to put this shit out there. Oh, Black Lives Matter, all this. Who are Marxists? They're going to do all this stuff, but Jason Witten couldn't do that. So we can do this, but you can't do that. It's all bullshit. It's all nonsense. This is what I'm talking about when I say politics ball. It will kill everything. It will kill everything. I'm almost done here. Remember this? How long ago was that? So this is... Before I go, this is who they want. This is who's running sports teams.
It's the bias response team. If you've been offended, your feelings must be defended. Freedom of expression is a microaggression. Here comes Angela Freddy. He's always ready to fight fascism with fascism. Starbucks windows don't stand a chance. Ethnic enhancer. He's a systematic racism finder. Using the powers of screaming and shame, they win every debate by calling your names. They're heroes who think that they're victims. Justice warriors.
That's the show. I hope you liked it. I love 12 Out Sports that let me do this every week. Have a good week. I'll see you next